Welcome to Good Mythical More. Boy, I'm up for the challenge.
It doesn't spin quite as well.
No, it doesn't. But we did it. Let's have a lucid discussion about what age becomes inappropriate for certain tasks.
But first, let's boogie down now. I can show you how to do the floss. Okay, now put
do the metal floss.
Now put one hand in front of you and one.
I mean, she was going this way.
I don't really know how to do it.
She was flossing this way.
I was just hoping for some. I know I got some sympathy from Stevie. Actually,
I thought that she was great. Gloria was great. Gloria deserved it.
You tell an 80-something-year-old woman to do that, and she does that. That's
what I was thinking.
It was like she was drying her crotch with a towel.
I mean, had I not made that call, Link, you could have won the grandkids. But as Rhett experienced, I just don't know if it was worth it. You know, I think Gloria deserved the glory.
The thing that I found out, what is the Helen?
Yeah.
Helen told me right after, she was like, I know what a DM is. I was like,
92-year-old Helen knew what a DM was.
So
Helen looked great.
That's on me. Great glasses. Yeah, she looked great.
She's been flossing quite a bit.
I wasn't really talking about her glasses, but
everything.
Yeah,
but great glasses too. Is what I'm saying.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Great glasses.
Gigi, great glasses.
I love old people and or elders. I love elders.
Right, but are there things that they shouldn't be allowed to do?
Yes.
Let's figure that out.
And
when was the last time you? I mean, Link talks to his dad every week, but when was the last time you guys had to walk your parents through like a technological thing? Do you even remember? Do they ask you for that?
Thankfully, my dad.
Yeah, I don't.
My dad, who's retired,
Who's retired?
He is retired, but he uses the IT guy from the university. That
really?
And so he still makes
he
calls the IT guy and makes the IT guy come to his house.
You should be paying that guy.
I have no involvement at all. I love it.
That guy needs a Christmas card from you, in the least.
Yeah.
Cassie's mom uploaded a photo of herself to her. I think I've talked about this, to her Facebook profile, but it uploaded so you could only see from the top half of her nose up with like a lot of sky, and it just like it wasn't what she wanted. So we had to walk her through how to crop and then recenter the photo. And she was very panicked because it looked like that for 30 minutes.
It was out there in the world.
It was out there.
Nose up.
You know how frequently everyone uses Facebook.
I mean, at least it wasn't like shoulders down.
Right.
That would have been
true.
weirder.
Even weirder.
That's true.
A lot weirder. For my dad, I benefit from the fact that like he doesn't ask me that stuff because I think he just asks Logan, who produces his podcast.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Check out Dispatchers from Myrtle Beach, wherever you. My mom doesn't ask me too many technical things, but and my Nana, I have one living grandmother. And Nana doesn't ask me.
She's older than anybody
technical
that we saw today, isn't she? Or she
yeah, she's
90 what?
But I'm guessing she still has like a landline and like basically doesn't need to use technology, right?
She bought a computer to video chat with us about when we first moved out here, but then it kind of stopped working after a while.
She didn't update it.
Yeah.
Okay, how
she gave
old
up on that?
Is too old is what we're talking about.
Okay.
First one, very divisive here. Driving. How old is too old to have your driver's license?
This one's tough. Speaking of my Nana, they took away her car.
And they don't like when you do that.
And Nana did not like that. And so one of her friends had her car taken away. And so what Nana thought to do was buy the car from her friend who was having the car taken away. And she did. She didn't tell anybody. She just bought the car and then started driving around again.
When was this?
Like 9 months ago. Yeah. And so she literally did not go for it. She was like, "I'll just get a new car," and she did.
And then how did they find out she was driving?
She told him,
Did she stop now?
"I got a new car and I'm driving, but I'm only going to drive to the grocery store and back."
So what happened to her old car?
She wrecked it.
Oh, they didn't take it away.
They took away. Yeah, they took it away after she wrecked it.
That's a tough similar thing, not as extreme, but Jesse's grandmother Gaga had this big Cadillac, and she could not see at all at night, but she didn't let that stop her.
Yeah,
until they were like, we can't do this, and eventually she stopped driving, like in her 90s. But I think that you can't just, for driving, because you have to go and get a license to drive initially, and then there's the renewal. This should just be an ability thing. At a certain age, it should be a requirement that you have to then take the driving test again or something, because it's like there are 95-year-old people who can drive. And so there shouldn't be an age limit. It should be a proficiency requirement.
It's a bit frustrating.
Is there not already that?
It's not, yeah. At least
your
in
family
California,
has to like step in, and like then you become the bad guy.
Right.
And then there's like all these nana shenanigans.
It's like
shenanigans.
If you can
that's
pass
what it's
the
called.
Test, if you can pass the test, you can keep driving.
Yeah, you just have to, in California, if you're over the age of 70 and your license has to be renewed, you have to come in person and take the eye test and like the written test, but they don't make you take the driving test. And that's the test that you need to take.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be tough. That would be, if we made it 70, there would be so many people who had to take that test that it would probably be hard to. But like I would say,
not a written test. I don't think you need to put anybody through the written test anymore. Just the eye test and the driving test.
Right.
Right.
And you know what they could do? There should be a driving simulator at the DMV that you get in, totally. And they could basically recreate it almost. No reason to hire a bunch of people to take people out driving on the road and then they wreck. It's just like, if you can pass this test in the simulator, reaction time, et cetera, you get to keep your license.
I was talking, when we were hanging out at the Creative House this past weekend, did you notice I was talking to our neighbor who is in her 90s when you were leaving?
Oh, I've spoken to her a few times, yeah.
She was telling me that she walked down to the grocery store, and that when I was just asking her how she's doing, she's like, well, I walked down to the grocery store to see if I could do it. And it turns out her family had taken her car away, and she was not happy about it, and she wanted to know if she could still get to the grocery store by walking. And so she bought groceries, and she's like carrying her groceries back up the hill.
That's no joke.
And she said she had to stop and rest a number of times, and then finally she was like sitting there on the side of the, like on somebody's landscaping wall, and then somebody from the neighborhood stopped and said, "Do you need a ride?" And she said yes. And I said, well, what did we learn from this?
Oh, okay.
And
did you say it like that?
I had already been messing with her.
Oh, okay.
So we have that rapport. I was like, so what did we learn from this? And she said, I've got to try again. And I was like, no, I didn't think, that's not what we learned. What we learned is you need to get a ride.
Does your family live close by?
I need to try again. I don't know. I didn't ask her that.
She'd get a one wheel.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll teach you how to use a one wheel. Let's go to lighter fare.
Wear a backwards baseball cap.
Okay. No, this is bad.
Yeah, I saw a guy this morning. He was moving rocks around in his front yard, and I was like, he's got on a backward baseball cap. It's fitted. And then when I walked past and I saw the back of his head, I was like, did he turn the hat around? It's like, no, he has a brimless hat on.
Oh.
And he was too old for that.
Like a little boy with a little.
Yeah, it didn't have a propeller on it, but he was. All he had to do was add a propeller.
If you have a brimless hat, you have to have a propeller. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't. I actually think you shouldn't do this in college. Like,
You should stop in college?
I don't think that anyone who wears their hat backwards in college. I think you're on shaky ground. I think.
I'm literally wearing a backwards baseball cap right now. Well, not a baseball cap.
Well, Stevie, you know, you defy the rules, and by that,
of course,
you're making a statement. And you can pull it off.
Yeah, I will say you
can pull it off, but you're defying.
I was picturing men in this scenario.
You're defying a convention that I'm describing, but it needs to be established so that you can subvert it. But most
so you're
people
saying
can't.
like 18 is the cutoff?
Yes.
That feels very aggressive.
And because it makes me. I'd never get a good impression of a guy wearing a hat backwards at any age. I'm sorry. And if they're a child, it's not, oh, well, they're a child. But I just...
Oh, look, I'm getting a call from Mark Rober.
Yeah, Mark Rober does that?
He wears his hat backwards, yeah.
Why? I've never
I just thought you literally were getting a call from Mark.
I've never gotten a good impression. I stand by my statement.
Getting a call from Mel again.
It's like, I'd almost rather you be in an a cappella group.
Oh!
Almost.
I'm going to let you keep digging this hole. Keep going. What else?
I've never seen anybody besides Stevie wear a hat backwards and say, "Oh, you're pulling that off."
Do you get those ads?
That I know personally.
Do you get the? I don't wear many hats, but apparently I am in the age group where I get the TikTok ads where there's these guys talking to me about hats not fitting correctly, and one of the common ways that they demonstrate how these hats have too much room is they turn them around and show the space in their backwards trucker hat. And I'm just like, I would never do that. Why do you keep showing me these ads? Do you get these ads?
No, because they're looking for.
They want a hat that fits.
They make a hat that fits their head. That's not that.
And that's not what you want either.
I see where you're coming from on that.
I
do think that there's.
Aggressive.
Yeah. And I also think that there's scenarios in which, some people look good with a backwards hat.
I think 40. For a man, I think 40 is the cutoff.
No, wrong, bad. I strong disagree.
Play in a bouncy castle.
Oh, okay. Is this without your own children? Because if it's with your own child, then
you're not playing.
Well, you have to be in a place where there is a bouncy castle, and I think getting your own puts us in a different territory. So, yeah, you have to be around a bouncy castle somehow.
Right, but like when you've got young kids, last time I got into one of those was because I had young kids, and I was like, kind of like, oh, look at what you guys are capable of in this bouncy house. Oh, it's wonderful.
I think the only scenario where you can get away with it, sans children, is if it's a really specifically interesting type of party. And I'm talking like the bouncy house needs to have oil in it.
Well, what kind of party? Have you been to a party like that?
No, but I'm imagining it, and I would be happy about it.
I think if you oil down the bouncy house, you don't get to return it. I think you oil it.
Yeah, you
buy
own it. You own it. You oil it. You buy it. You're wearing bathing suits, and you're slithering around.
There's no age limit for that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, as a woman in her 30s, that does not sound appealing to me at all.
Okay, you can wear a backwards hat too.
Okay.
But hey, you for it?
Well, for oil, yeah. But if without oil, if there's no oil involved and it's just a bouncy house and there are no children that you're related to, then
right.
Well, I'm just saying you're going into a bouncy
how could
house.
You have children? What?
Because I'm just saying that if you're an adult and you go to a party where there's other kids and you're not related to, you're not anyone's uncle or aunt.
Don't get in the bouncy house.
And you get in the bouncy house?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were saying that you could. I was like, I don't understand that.
So I think the cutoff for that is 20. I think you cannot be anything over teenager. You can't get in there, unironically. 20.
I don't like a 19-year-old in a
mean,
bouncy house without any relatives.
That's cutting it close.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 14.
Wow, you're not gonna let a 15-year-old in the bouncy house because they'll break it.
Nope.
They'll break it. They'll do something stupid.
There's like a correlation to trick-or-treating too, but like I think you can be in costume sincerely trick-or-treating no older than, 16 is pushing it. If you can drive, I don't think you can trick-or-treat sincerely. Now you can wear a costume and you can scare trick-or-treaters.
You mean going door to door
that.
for candy
Yeah.
with friends?
Yeah,
no more than 15?
15. So 14 is a bounce house.
Get it
15.
in while you can, guys.
How old is too old to go to a Ski Mask the Slump God concert?
Is this a personal attack?
I believe so, yeah.
What if he's a personal friend of yours? What if you appear in his Instagram? I'm gonna say older than me. I actually didn't go to a Ski Mask the Slump God show yet, but I might. He has a new album coming out.
Does he have mostly a younger fan base?
Yeah. He's more like Lincoln's a fan. He introduced me to him.
But by yourself. You would go into a concert with your son that's also into something. I feel like you never get too old for that.
Thank you. But yeah, I would. He would not be there.
If you were to grab a friend who also was into that.
I told you this yesterday. I just met another middle-aged honky who really likes. He's a hip hop bit.
Okay. Wow.
And I think we're going to hang out more.
Would you go to a Ski Mask the Slump God concert with him?
Maybe.
Unironically?
I would say it's ironic, but it wouldn't be.
But I haven't listened to his music. How does it feel like it's younger than, say, someone I would be familiar with? How is it younger music? Is it what he's rapping about?
It's just the...
Is it the ski mask?
It's just the style. He doesn't wear a ski mask.
Did he ever?
Not that I know of. No.
Does he slump?
He's got pretty decent posture, too.
Is he a god?
No, not really. I don't know.
So he doesn't... Nothing in his name references anything he actually does.
I do think he appeals to Lincoln more than... He's not really my genre. It's like... I respect Yeet, but I'm not a big Yeet fan.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Because of the things he raps about?
It's just the energy of it. Like, it's a little, like... It's just a different genre. I don't even know what it's called. It's different.
There is no limit, apparently.
Sorry, I'm bringing down the room with this.
If you go with your child, but I would say that, you know what? Maybe there's no limit. Maybe a 90-year-old person by them. Maybe if Helen, who goes, is 92, goes by herself to a Ski Mask the Slump God concert.
You could do it.
Stay out of the mosh pit.
Oh, I don't do that. Well, we're going to get on the edge of it. Lil Jon. Yeah! 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 Dad, I'm so proud of you.